Today's practice is going to be the Pritchett International Shoot, as found on the British Military Forum. I know of no other place on the internet that deals with more information on British Victorian military firearms as the British Military Forum. In the same vein, no other site contains as much information on the Pritchett cartridge and its modern rediscovery. As a result of ongoing experiments, it was decided to create a match to test our techniques in friendly competition. The rules are simple and historically based. A paper-patched Pritchett bullet must be used, and all shots, there are 20 of them, must be made from the standing position. The target consists of a rectangle that measures 48 inches high by 31.5 inches wide, with a 5-inch bull and a 16-inch ring. This is proportionally identical to the target used from 150 to 300 yards in period musketry practice of the 1860s, only this one is scaled down for use at 100 yards. It is 2/3 the size of the true target that was a cast iron slab measuring 6 feet high by 4 feet wide, with an 8-inch bull and a 24-inch ring. The details are found in the flint and percussion page of the British Military Forum. As mentioned, the shoot consists of 20 rounds, which just happens to be the contents of an 1855 expense pouch, known at the time as a ball bag. The idea was that the rounds for immediate use were loose in the expense pouch, while the packaged rounds were carried for further use in the main pouch. Packages at the time were substantially wrapped with paper and a waterproof inner layer, as well as a paper barrier between rounds. This was due to the fact that ammunition had to be serviceable all over the world, from the steamy heat of India to the frozen north in Canada. In fact, ammo was so well packaged that it could even be physically submerged in water for some time and still be protected. My version of the package doesn't have the waterproofing, but as you can see is still rather laborious to prepare for use. Caps were issued from a zinc jar held within the barrel that held the ammunition for storage. Soldiers were provided with a number that amounted to 110% of the number of rounds. The annual musketry qualification of the era was broken into 3 classes. The third class was shot, as mentioned, at a target 6 foot high by 4 foot wide, from ranges of 150 to 300 yards. The second class was shot from 400 to 600 yards at a target 6 foot high by 8 feet wide. And finally the first class, which was fired at a target 6 foot high by 12 foot wide. Perhaps the most telling feature about these targets was that they speak to the expected accuracy of the rifle, which was unbelievable by the standard of the day, but more like a shotgun pattern when compared to today's standards. I elected to use my P58 Parker Hale naval rifle for this practice. Not for any particular reason, as I've noticed no difference at this range between the 1-in-78 twist 3-groove rifling of the P53 rifle musket and this one, with its 1-in-48 twist 5-groove. The rules of the contest do penalize those with a fast twist rifle by subtracting 10% of the final score. The load that I have found to produce the best results is 60 grains of 3F powder with a shallow-based Pritchett ball. This is well documented in other videos, but it does produce a healthy recoil. Not unmanageable by any means, but you definitely know that you are shooting a military arm. I have yet to run into a situation where the cartridge does not perform. Even in this rather damp and cold environment, when lubed with an appropriate ratio of ingredients, the cartridge functions flawlessly. I typically give the bore a wipe every 5 rounds. The rules stipulate that any amount of fouling management is acceptable. As you'll notice, I pulled a couple of rounds here in this last 5, trying to sneak in a couple of pulls. The chute itself is simple, but serves as a good benchmark for friendly competition. Incidentally, I shot another serial of this chute right after this one, changing my point of aim. The grouping was better, but placed all wrong, as you can see here. Then again, that's what practice is for. Thanks for watching.